In this information age that we live in, technology affords us incredible opportunities and conveniences, the likes of which we've never known before. Scientists are now telling us that there is a hidden danger that we have been overlooking. You see, this constant connectivity that we have creates a kind of fragmentation of the mind, a state that scientists are now referring to as digital overload. In digital overload, the brain remains in a kind of hyper-alert state and a distracted state. This can lead to stress, anxiety, and a total inability to relax. Today, I'm going to give you 7 really great strategies that will help you bring more balance and more wisdom into your relationship to the tech in your life. In short, I'm going to show you how you can infuse your relationship to technology with mindfulness. Strategy number 1 is to bring in mindful moments into your relationship with digital device. So what is a mindful moment? A mindful moment looks like this. You come to sit down at your computer, or you're just about to pick up your phone or your tablet or whatever it may be, and instead of just reaching for the device, making a call immediately, placing your hands on the keyboard and typing or immediately reading, you simply become still. Pause. Bring all of the focus of your attention into the present moment, and from that place of stillness, take 3 deep, slow, conscious breaths. What I mean by a conscious breath is with your full attention and awareness in the present moment, follow the breath as it moves into and out of the body. So this will only take you around about 5 seconds, 10 seconds if you're a really slow breather. And this will completely transform the way that you interact with your digital device now. It may be helpful to place a little note or some symbol or something to remind you that you're going to take this mindful pause until you get used to it. I have at my computer, I don't know if you can see this, beautiful little mindfulness card that I have, and I have that placed right in front of my monitor so that it reminds me each time to just pause and have my mindful moment. You'll find that after doing this for a few weeks, it simply becomes infused into your life so that when you sit down or when you reach for that phone, you immediately come into the state of mindfulness. Tip number 2 is wise waiting. Whenever you're on hold on the phone to somebody or you're waiting for a web page to load, resist the urge to start taking up multiple tasks. This is digital multitasking and leads to fragmentation of the mind. Instead of that, practice wise waiting. When you're on hold, when you're waiting for that web page to load, simply become still. Relax into the moment. This is a moment of mindfulness instead of a moment of busyness. If you find it particularly difficult, if you're finding yourself really agitated and that urge to do multiple things at once is very strong in you, once again, come back to that mindful breathing as I've already described. Simply take deep, slow, conscious breaths. Through wise waiting, the whole energy of your day becomes transformed from one of stress and busyness to one of calm efficiency. Tip number 3 is to practice unit tasking. Unit tasking is basically the opposite of multitasking. Are you aware that studies now show that multitasking is a less efficient way to do things? Being that it's also not healthy for our minds, there's no real reason to do it. Instead, as a personal experiment, try this. Unit tasking means do one task at a time, and as you do it, have your full energy and attention on the step you're taking now. In other words, you calmly and with focused attention go about each step of your task in the moment as it happens. When you practice unit tasking, the mind becomes very clear and light. Don't take my word for it, find out for yourself. Tip number 4, develop digital awareness. Digital awareness means to become aware of the relationship between digital stimulation and your state of being, so your thoughts and your emotions. Pause to consider how you feel inside when you hear the beep of a tweet or an instant message or the ring of a phone. Can you take a potent pause in that moment and feel what the state of being is that's created by that digital stimulation? In this way, becoming more conscious of our interaction with technology, it gives us the opportunity to no longer have to play out our habitual, reactive ways of interaction. And now we can start to make some really wise choices to support our health and well-being. For instance, you might choose to possibly turn your phone off for the majority of the day, or only answer emails or instant messages during one part of the day. You may choose to stop digital multitasking after observing the effects of that. Whatever it may be, we'll now be able to make wise choices to support our health. Tip number 5 is to practice mindful transitions. Research shows us that interacting with technology puts us in a state of hyper-arousal or hyper-alertness. And many of us are being stuck in this state long after we close our devices. To counteract this, practice mindful transitions, and here's how. Once you turn off a device, close a device, walk away from your laptop, or hang up on that phone call, pause here, and once again, take 3 deep, slow, conscious breaths. By doing these conscious breaths, we shift the energy out of hyperarousal and into the calm, clear state of mindfulness. Tip number 6, unplug with awareness. It would be very wise to take some time out of your schedule to unplug completely from all digital devices. That means no phones, laptops away, no TV, nothing. This could be simply a couple of hours per day for you, or it could be one whole day per week, or a week per month, whatever you deem appropriate for you. Now, if you have been interacting with technology a lot, you're a heavy user of technology in your life, know that you probably will experience the symptoms of overstimulation or hyperarousal. During those times when you switch off, you'll probably experience a sense of agitation, unease, or restlessness, boredom. If these emotions arise for you, simply take your awareness within and observe the emotions as they arise. Resist the tendency to want to escape those feelings of agitation and boredom by picking up the device. Instead, simply bring mindfulness into the emotion itself, and in time, with awareness, those emotions begin to dissipate. Tip number 7, wake-up calls. You know all those little beeps and rings and dings and buzzes that happen all day due to all the digital devices around us? Well, those little beeps and dings can sometimes put us into a state of hyperarousal. Now we can transform that by using those noises as mindfulness triggers. Instead of quickly reacting and moving towards the device, so answering the phone or moving to answer the tweet immediately, we can use them as a mindfulness bell When we hear a beep, a buzz, or a ring, we can take that as our signal that it's a time to come back into the moment, check in with ourselves, and take a moment of mindfulness. So in that moment where you hear a buzz or a ding, you might choose to take a slow, deep, conscious breath, or simply to bring your awareness into the present moment. Take a little pause. In this way, our day becomes interspersed with all these little moments of spontaneous mindfulness, and the energy of calm, peaceful clarity that mindfulness brings becomes infused throughout our whole day. With these 7 tips, I believe you'll be able to transform your relationship to technology, buffer yourself against the effects of digital overload, and bring more mindfulness into your daily life. I wish you all the best. See you next time.